All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to my country, Nigeria. This is my people and I remain your humble host, Ben. Now, the Anglican Church of Nigeria has hugely embarrassed FCT minister H0RRIBLE, Wike, and interestingly, many Nigerians feel that the FCT minister deserves this embarrassment. But before I show you details of that story and how Nigerians reacted, let's quickly talk about the death of ex-president Muhammadu Buhari. Now, on Sunday, 2 days ago, it was announced that ex-president Muhammadu Buhari passed on after prolonged illness in a London hospital. And there have been several reactions from Nigerians. Some people, many prominent Nigerians, have called him a very great man who served Nigeria as a patriot, and he has been lauded in the quarters of many rich people, but a few average Nigerians have applauded him. Most Nigerians, the average, the poor, the masses in general, have vilified him even in death. They said the man completely messed up the economy of Nigeria when he was alive. They said he came in, before he came in, he promised Nigerians heaven and earth. He said that spaghetti selling at 80 naira was too expensive. When he came in and he left it at over 700 naira. He said a bag of rice selling at 85 was too expensive. He left it at 32,000 naira. And some Nigerians have said it is not ideal to speak ill of the dead. So I don't know what you feel. Do you think that people should just forget about the negative things they feel happened under Buhari and just say rest in peace Baba and let everything go? Or do you think that people should express themselves as they deem fit? Let me know in the comment section. Now let us get to the main story. FCT minister H0RRIBLE went to an Anglican church. He took to the pulpit and he began campaigning. In the campaign, he slammed other politicians and he basically almost turned the church service into a campaign rally. And responding to that, the Anglican Church has come out to say they will no longer allow politicians to take to the pulpit in their churches across Nigeria to even speak, let alone campaign. Before I show you what the Anglican Church said, let us take that speech from FCT Minister H0RRIBLE. See the video.
Be patient and continue to pray for Mr. President, for the administration. Forget about people who have lost their chances to put Nigeria right. They won't have the chance again. Look, ask yourself a question. Just ask yourself. I was a Senate president for 8 years, for example. And I cannot provide road to my local government or to work. And I will be flying a helicopter to go to Otubo. 8 years. Now, you say you want to rescue Nigeria. Which Nigeria are you rescuing? Rescuing that you were 8 years as Senate president? Somebody was speaker for 8 years. Governor, 8 years. Minister, 8 years. He didn't know Nigerians were angry. It's just these 2 years he left office. He are telling Nigerians that Nigerians are angry. Why wouldn't they be angry? When in 8 years as Minister of Transportation, you borrow so much money from China, making us to be highly indebted. You have borrowed the future of Nigerians. You say Nigerians are angry. They're angry with you.
You heard that. He was basically talking about members of the coalition that was just formed. You know, the coalition that adopted ADC as the political party. He said somebody was Senate president for 8 years. He was talking about David Mark, who is the interim chairman of the coalition party ADC. He said another one was speaker and he was also governor. He was talking about his arch rival Rotimi Amechi, and these did not go down well at all with the authority of the Anglican Church, and therefore they came out and slammed a ban on politicians. Henceforth, politicians are banned from speaking on Anglican churches' pulpits. Look at how the papers reported it. Breaking news: the Church of Nigeria, Anglican Communion, has banned the use of its pulpits and platforms for political purposes after Wike's remarks in Abuja. The Church of Nigeria, Anglican Communion, has issued guidelines for receiving politicians and government officials during church services and programs, barring them from speaking from the pulpits. The church warned against publicly praising such government figures. A memo signed by the primate Henry Ndukuba on Saturday said the decision was made during the recent episcopal consultation held in the Diocese of Nike, Enugu State. It said the new guideline aims to curb the increasing use of religious platforms for political messaging and to protect the integrity of Christian worship. The new guideline is to ensure that the church remains a place of worship, unity, and spiritual guidance, free from distractions and divisions of partisan politics. You saw that. A very good move from the Anglican Church there, because the church is tending towards a place where the church is now trying to unite with politicians. They are about becoming one, and we know the impact, the negative impact of politicians on the society. More than 85% of the problems of this country are caused by these people. And the church, on the other hand, is a sacred place. That is an institution that should solve problems. So you should check and balance politicians, especially those ones who came out of the church, who came out of the Christendom. That is what the church should do. Of course, basically, the church is supposed to draw the people to Christ, not to play politics. But after you have drawn the people to Christ, you should also be able to look at their welfare. And that is where you have to begin to check and balance these politicians, especially those ones that came out of the church. But we are coming to a place where a politician will come into a church and he is treated as if he is Christ. He takes to the front seat, he talks anyhow. And these are the same people that will preach against the works of their hands. It is not good at all. It amounts to hypocrisy. So this is a very good move from the Anglican Church. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here by Threat Snatcher says, now they wake, church no be campaign ground. If you want serve God, serve God. If now politics they hungry you, join rally, not the altar. That is it. And Desmond here says, the church should remain a sacred and neutral ground, focused on spiritual guidance and moral values. Keeping the pulpit free from political influence helps preserve its integrity. Absolutely. And this tweet here says, it is one thing to say, it's another thing to enact. Next week, we will see another video of a politician on the pulpit. Victor here does not trust this pronouncement by the Anglican Church, but I believe they are going to keep to it because the Anglican Church is a noble one. And Sir EJ here says, churches, not just Anglican, should stop giving these politicians the platform to do anything, because they will simply turn everything to campaign. That is it. Finally, Mendy says, this is a bold and commendable move by the church. The pulpit should be a place for spiritual growth, not political campaigns. Nigeria needs clear boundaries between religion and politics. You saw that. Most Nigerians, as a matter of fact, everybody is in agreement with this move by the Anglican Church. And there was one of the comments there that said, not only the Anglican Church, every other church in Nigeria should adopt it. And I think that is what they should do. The sacred nature of the church has to be preserved, because we have come to a place in this country where the people, particularly the masses, need an institution that can stand with them. The traditional rulers have sold out. So many people that ought to be trusted have sold out. You come to elections, you realize that the professors have sold out because they use professors, to rig elections and all that. So the church must not come to a place where they will begin to play a part in this anomaly. And that is why I really commend the Anglican Church for what they have done. In recent times, churches are beginning to step up. The other day, I brought you a video where Pastor Paul Enenche rejected that donation from the Kebbi State government. That was a very good one. Then it was just within that same week that another Anglican pastor, blasted politicians that were in the church, spoke to them, told them all that they were doing wrong and how they will be judged. And now the Anglican Church has come out to respond to this anomaly by the FCT minister. It's a very, very good one, and I hope that churches can continue in this line. And finally, a report came out today saying that 1,100 Nigerians lost their lives in the month of June alone. It is right there on your screen. This is the situation of the country. Sometimes we don't want to continue reporting, death because some people get really emotional. Even me, I get emotional sometimes, but we just cannot keep sweeping it under the carpet because these are lives, precious lives being wasted, and we urge stakeholders to rise up to the occasion. Nigerians cannot continue to lose their lives in this manner, and these terrorists and bandits and non-state actors cannot be more powerful than Nigeria. What we need to do is to step up and say, no, this has to end. And I believe that if we take it with utmost seriousness, in no time we will be able to see the back of this insurgency, terrorism, and all manner of ills that are taking the lives of Nigerians. Anyway, make I leave am here. If you've not subscribed to this channel, I don't know what you're still waiting for. Do am now as a look you. Make we for no quarrel. Oh yeah, subscribe now. Una bye.